First from Annabel Ewing, to be followed by Mark Ruskell.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. The First Minister will be aware of the major unplanned flaring incident at Mossmorran last Thursday, the poor environmental rating published yesterday by SEPA, and of the walkout by some workers over reported concerns about health and safety. What assurances can the First Minister give to my constituents who remain very anxious about safety and about health and environmental impacts?
First Minister.
Well, can I thank Annabel Ewing for raising what is an extremely important matter for her constituents, and ministers are in absolutely no doubt about the very understandable concerns of the local community, as evidenced by the number of complaints that SEPA has received regarding recent incidents. With regard to safety, the complex falls under the control of major accident hazards regulations. These are enforced by the Health and Safety Executive and SEPA, and we have been assured that both regulators continue to monitor the situation very closely. As things stand now, all of SEPA's published data suggests no breach of UK air quality standards. The Scottish Government is staying in very close contact with the regulators, but I hope members will appreciate it would not be appropriate for ministers to interfere in independent regulatory decisions. However, I absolutely recognise the seriousness of this issue, and I'm sure the Environment Secretary would be happy to keep Annabel Ewing and others who have an interest updated.
Mark Ruskell.
As the First Minister has just heard, this Mossmorran plant is in crisis. Communities are suffering, workers are striking. Meanwhile, the Climate Change Secretary and the Energy Minister have both refused once again to meet with the local community at an emergency public meeting scheduled for tomorrow night. Will the First Minister ensure that the Government is represented at this meeting to explain to communities around Mossmorran exactly what on earth is going on?
Minister.
Look, I'm very happy to consider any request of that nature that is made. I want to be very clear, though, it's not the case that ministers are refusing to attend a public meeting because they are not interested in this issue. There are regulatory enforcement actions underway right now, and it is important that ministers respect the independence of that process, and it would not really be in anybody's interest for ministers to step into territory that is rightly for SEPA and the Health and Safety Executive. But ministers understand and appreciate the seriousness of this issue. We will continue to keep in very close contact with the regulators and take whatever steps lie within our responsibilities to ensure that appropriate action is taken. And the Environment Secretary will be, as appropriate and as far as possible, be happy to keep interested members fully updated.
Gordon Linder.